The views and opinions expressed by the host and the guests on this show are not necessarily those of the management, advertisers, or the Tea Party. But they should be. You're listening to Tea Party Boot Camp Radio on 940 KYNO with your host, Steve Wayte.
And good afternoon. Welcome to Tea Party Boot Camp Radio. I'm your host, Steve Wayte, and I struggled mightily this week trying to decide what to talk about on this eve of the 10th anniversary of the 9/11 attacks. And so we're going to have a few guests on that have a kind of unique spin. Our first guest coming up will be Bill Gleason, and Bill Gleason was a lieutenant with the FDNY EMS and was a first responder on 9/11. And we'll be talking to him about his organization and what they're doing to help first responders that have been getting sick and ill from the dust created from the collapse of the World Trade Centers. We'll be speaking with Bill first, and then later on the show we'll be talking to Robert M. Bowman. Dr. Bowman is a former director of the Advanced Space Programs Development for the United States for the Air Force. He also, under the Carter and Ford administrations, was the head of the Star Wars programs. We'll be speaking with him, and then later in the show, Richard Gage, who is with Architects and Engineers for 9/11 Truth, and he'll be speaking to us from Toronto, where he's at a conference in Toronto this afternoon. 2001 was a interesting time in my life. Our children were fairly young at the time, and my business was thriving. We just built a new building on McKinley Avenue, and unfortunately, after the attacks of 9/11, McKinley Avenue, if you remember, was shut down from Clovis to, I believe, Peach Avenue with concerns over more terror attacks. And that kind of affected my business a little bit, as we just recently relocated from Clovis. And so it made it very difficult for my patrons that were used to us being in Clovis to even find us. You basically had to go around the airport on the backside. And as people know that are from Fresno, that's kind of a hard drive. In Fresno, we were also excited in 2001. I mean, we had our Bulldogs. They were really thriving in early 2001. We'd gone to Colorado and beat the Buffaloes. We came back home and put a waxing on the Oregon State Beavers, if you remember, and then we won at Wisconsin. And so in some parts of me still feel like that maybe that 2001 season might have been a little bit different for those Bulldogs if we hadn't have taken that 2-week break due to the attacks of 9/11. So anyway, when we come back, I'll be talking with Bill Gleason, Lieutenant from FDNY EMS, and you're listening to Tea Party Boot Camp Radio on 940 KYNO.